Now, that game was interesting. I know it was the first match of the season, but I didn't expect United to have Arsenal looking that vulnerable. What caught me off guard was that some of it looked a bit intentional from Arteta. The way Arsenal set up with the fullbacks pushed really high and very little concern for being caught in transition felt completely out of character for this Arsenal side. You could say there was a lot of naivety in their approach, but also something quite promising. Now, Arsenal narrowly beat Man United first game of the season away at Old Trafford, and in doing so, didn't really create much clear-cut chances from open play. So when that game finished, why did I feel quietly encouraged by what I saw? First, we have to talk about Arsenal's aggressive approach to start the game. Off the ball, Arsenal pushed both fullbacks really high, and the wingers didn't drop back like they usually do. It seemed intentional for the wingers to stay high and ready for the counters, but in doing so, it left huge gaps down the flanks, and United took advantage. Early on, Arsenal struggled with finding balance between pressing and protecting space, and it made the backline look really shaky. Watch here, Arsenal's press was exposed. The lack of intensity and synergy was clear to see. Rice and Odegaard are tightly marking Casemiro and De Ligt, the wingers are marking wide spaces, and Gyökeres isn't closing down the keeper with much urgency. With so many bodies committed forwards, Arsenal were outnumbered further back. So when United's keeper kicked it in a congested area, Mount got the first touch. And as the ball is in the air, Saliba and Cunha both go up for it, but Mount helps his teammate and regains possession. Notice how no other Arsenal player is in sight to help out Saliba in this situation. Mbeumo is ready to run in behind. Gabriel does really well to stay connected to Mbeumo, sniffing the danger before it even began. The ball is played in behind for the United attacker, who takes a shot from a tight angle. Now this move could have been a lot troublesome for Arsenal. Again, watch here from an Arsenal counter. One long pass and Mbeumo is there to transition. It's a 2v2, which in the end leads to a corner. Arsenal really struggled with going forward with intent and having solidity at the back. They did adjust halfway through the first half. The wings dropped back a bit more, and the gaps were less prominent for Man United to exploit. With all the troubles United caused this game, you're probably asking where and how did I find encouragement from this performance? And it was mainly in how Arsenal approached the game, looking to get from A to B in a matter of seconds. See, as great as Arsenal have been in recent years, I think they've sometimes struggled with the risk-reward balance, leading into a very risk-averse style of play, but often at the expense of a goal threat going forward. And in this game, the opposite was seen. Arsenal were aggressive, they committed bodies forward, and attacked with intent. But while I found a lot of encouragement and applaud the bravery of the approach, the execution was nothing short of abysmal. There were so many attacks which broke down because of a lack of quality in either the final pass or the run being made. You see here Raya gives the ball to Odegaard, it's now a 4v3 in Arsenal's favour. Odegaard plays it quick to Saka. Now you could argue this pass should have taken the winger through on goal, where the chance of scoring increases massively. Still, it's a clear 3v3 with Saka isolated against Mount. You'd back him in this position, but he gets the ball taken away from him quite easily. The runs from the attackers were not good on many occasions. Watch here, Odegaard again has the ball on the counter, it's a 3v3. And watch the spacing and movement from the wide players. They shrink the pitch, making it far easier for the United defenders to recover. At least one should have drifted wide to create space and disrupt United's shape. The wingers were really awful in their movement this game. The lack of synergy was clear to see. I do think part of this comes from the sharp change in style. Normally in these scenarios, Arsenal don't go gung-ho like they did in this match. They usually slow things down and try to break the opposition methodically. Perhaps the years of detailed, instruction-heavy coaching has slightly stripped away some of these instincts of these players in transition. Shifting to a more direct, counter-heavy game will take time and repetition before it becomes second nature. When Arteta first joined Arsenal, he said something in an interview which really stuck with me, saying, "Football is about habits and angles. If I know the glass is always in the same cupboard, I can grab it quicker." See, for years, Arsenal have been drilled to play a certain way, with every pass rehearsed, every angle prepared. But when you suddenly flip that into a style that demands quick release and instinctive runs, you get hesitation, second guessing, and a lack of chemistry. It wasn't entirely on the wingers for the poor execution on the counter. There were times where they were open and the pass just wasn't played into them. You see it here, Odegaard is in acres of space between the lines, Zubimendi passes him the ball. He has a lot of options here, but the clearest one is to slip in Saka, who is in a great position. Instead he delays and loses the ball. This leads to a counter for United, and in seconds Cunha has a shot on goal. Now this play had me pulling my hair out. Raya plays a lovely pass into Odegaard's feet. Saka makes a run but he's offside. Look how he has his hands up signalling not to be given the ball. Still, Odegaard plays a scoop pass into him. With all this happening, look who's on the shoulder ready to receive. I think Odegaard should have slipped in Gyökeres here. Now this was a constant theme, a mix of poor movement and pass selection which stopped Arsenal from causing real damage to United on the break. Gyökeres' debut was underwhelming to say the least. Now he didn't have much to work with, but the few moments he did get the ball, his actions looked quite rushed. When he was running onto this pass here, I'm sure he was dreaming of this moment the night before. This here is his trademark move. Off the left, cutting inside and scoring. You see here he tries cutting in, the ball gets stuck under his feet and then the play is lost. You can sense the anxiousness he was playing with, and understandably so. His league debut at Old Trafford against his former manager. I do feel as though the moment got to him. Part of his poor performances was down to his eagerness to impress, but I also think as the game went on, his teammates did him no favours. There were countless of times where he was clean through on goal if the pass was played, but his teammates either ignored or didn't notice his runs. Saka has the ball here and he drives inside. Notice Gyökeres is next to Euro. He makes a run in behind as he's noticed the ball is there to be played. Whilst the United defender plays for the offside trap, if Saka picks his head up and plays the pass in behind, there's a high chance Gyökeres is clean through on goal. Instead, Saka doesn't see the pass and runs into traffic. Now these weren't isolated incidents. There were several runs like this. See, it's been a long time since Arsenal had a striker constantly threatening behind. Even when he wasn't receiving the ball, those runs open up spaces for others, dragging defenders away and creating gaps. The challenge for his teammates is knowing when to use him as a target and when to use him as a decoy. I think that understanding will take time, and as his teammates adapt to his movements, Gyökeres' impact should definitely grow. Now this wasn't a clean performance from Arsenal, far from it, but it was a clear shift in style. Arsenal are trying something new. It's riskier and a lot messier than what we know Arsenal to be. But long term it might be the leap they need. Still, 3 points away at Old Trafford first game of the season is what really matters, and they did well to win the game. Let me know what you thought of Arsenal's new approach. Is it something you liked? Do you think they need to tone it down a bit? And what do you think it means for the season going forward? Comment below your thoughts, and until next time, peace.